a dinosaur wrangler, Kyle? That's what you wanted to be when you grew up? Good job. Good job. DarbyCast Wildcard Friday. Kyle and I were just talking about big ideas, quite obviously, which is par for the course here. Kyle just disclosed to me, in confidence, that up into age 27, he wanted to be a dinosaur wrangler. Kyle's 28, for those of you who don't know. But I want to celebrate you thinking outside the box, Kyle, because not a lot of people are willing to do that in today's crazy world. Everybody's caught up in the goings-on of the world. Some people right now are wondering, hey, are you going to talk about the Middle East? Absolutely not. We're going to talk about dinosaurs and maybe megalodons today, which I think could be quite a bit more inspiring and potentially relevant. If you're new here, take this opportunity to take a couple deep breaths and then leave. Turn off the podcast. This is not for everybody. It never has been, it isn't now, and really won't be in the future. But with that being said, if you are somebody who isn't afraid to explore the idea of over-leveraging dinosaurs as a career, you might belong here. Kyle, let's pivot and talk about Illuminati Mike, who is currently on his way to internet superstardom. The computers and the algorithms have noticed Illuminati Mike in a huge way. Therefore, he's becoming the talk of the town, the bee's knees, the pterodactyl's elbows. Let's not forget dinosaurs, right? But how is this all going to come together? I'll tell you how. There was a time that Illuminati Mike disclosed to me that Jurassic Park was real and that dinosaurs were about to enter the world of warfare. What does that mean for you, Kyle? It means the Dinosaur Wrangler as a title is back on the menu. Don't give up on your dreams, Kyle. You know, there were probably people that told Kyle to abandon his dreams of becoming a dinosaur wrangler. Did they not, Kyle? Cowards. Simpletons. Negative people with bad attitudes and very limited imaginations. You need to tell those people that they're garbage. People who try to shut down your dreams, you look them straight in the eye. Maybe you grab them by the scruff of their shirt, do a little bit of a pump fake, pretend you're going in for a kiss, but then you pull back and you slap them and say, you are so wrong about everything. And you have no business raining on my dinosaur parade. Dinosaurparade.com. Kyle, buy it. If Illuminati Mike is correct and that dinosaurs will be going mainstream, in combat roles or maybe just as event staff, you keep a parade in working order with some triceratops. Nobody's going to try to rush the floats and make a mess. If you know that you're going to be on the business end of some triceratops justice in a way that's sturdy. Nobody's talking about stuff like this, Kyle. Not a soul. Everybody's caught up in the modern world. Many an issue. Illegal immigration, Kyle. Have you heard of it? It's starting to go more mainstream. And by that, I mean lefties are finally figuring out that something's not even in the zip code of okay and hasn't been for quite some time. That's when you know something's real bad, is when the propaganda machine can't even hide it from lefties anymore. And they start saying, wait a minute, what's with all the rapes and the drugs? But it's one thing to identify a problem. It's another thing to identify a solution. And that's what we do on the DarbyCast, is it not, Kyle? That's why people come to this podcast, because I am willing to call things out and say, what if we added a dash of dinosaur to the border? Everybody listening right now probably just slapped themselves on the forehead and went, dang it was so obvious. And it is, right? Provided Illuminati Mike is correct, and that there are labs cranking out weaponized dinosaurs, if they were put to good use. For example, maintaining the southern border, also TSA agents. That would take extra training. But a lot of illegal immigrants come in through the airports, Kyle. Did you know that the country that's sending us the most illegals now is not from South America? It's India. And we're not going to call these people undocumented. We're not going to call them terrific. We're not going to call them refugees. We're not going to call them migrants. We're not going to call them hopefuls. We're not going to reference the Statue of Liberty. We're going to call them criminals. It is a felony to enter this country and just post up. But imagine TSA dinosaurs. Highly skilled, but they couldn't be there by themselves. Now, could they, Kyle? They would need what? That's right, a handler. Kyle, you could work at the TSA. You know, I've never been comfortable with you walking away from the DarbyCast. But for the right cause, I'd be foolish to clip your wings. What if you were doing aerial patrol of the border on a winged dinosaur? Pteranodon, Kyle. That's what they'd call you. Pteranodon Kyle. What do you think chicks would like to hear about more, Kyle? I'm a drone pilot, or I am a pteranodon rider? Right. You'd have to be careful, Kyle, because chicks would be all over you. My goodness. Dinosaurs could totally solve problems. The border. Think about how trash the economy is right now. Now enter dinosaurs. The t-shirt business is stronger than it's ever been if we over-index on dinosaurs everywhere. Everybody's wearing dino tees. Dinotees.com, Kyle. Buy it now. Buy it now, because the second we publish this episode, it's gone forever. Because people know a good idea when they hear it. You know, our currency is tanking because we know that Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1973. Our currency is currently backed by nothing. Now follow me on this. What if our currency was backed by dinosaurs? That's the strongest currency that's ever been made. How do you tack currency to dinosaurs? I don't know. I'm not an economist, nor am I a paleontologist. That is going to be a collaborative effort that will need to be researched. But it's an idea worth exploring. Ideasworthexploring.com. Kyle, I am on fire today. Okay, I am absolutely nailing this. The right to bear arms includes dinosaurs. I know it. I know it. Every man, woman, and child should own a dinosaur. You have the right to defend yourself. But better yet, Kyle, dinosaurs armed with guns. Can you imagine a velociraptor with mounted turrets and chainsaws? Sure, you could be a little bit old school, affix some bayonets to your dinosaur's armored breastplate. But maybe you do that and some flanking chainsaws. Crime plummets. You think somebody is going to try to mess with you if it means that they could be decapitated by a chainsaw? Well, a dinosaur is mockingly roaring. Cal, you know, they say that the ocean is mostly unexplored, but very few people say what I'm about to say, and that the human imagination is mostly unexplored. Big ideas are everywhere, but especially on the DarbyCast. This is a tough situation to parse through, though. It's a lot of ethical dilemmas, much like with AI. What if dinosaurs fell into the wrong hands? That's an inevitability, right? Hopefully not on an institutional level. Rogue agencies with low ethics, dinosaurs, and Dinosaur pilots. Dinosaurpilots.com. Kyle, make that a job board for people who want to explore their options. Do you want to work at a dinosaur zoo? Do you want to get involved at the border? Do you want to teach dinosaur philosophy at your local high school? Dinosaur coach, Kyle. Either coaching dinosaurs to do things or coaching people to do things with dinosaurs. Maybe both, right? General manager of a dinosaur dealership. Hey, would you like to check out our certified pre-owned dinosaurs, right? What about this, Kyle? Camera guy for the dinosaur games. Totally take over the sports world. That's what the dinosaur games would do. Goodbye fantasy football, hello fantasy dinosaurs, right? With the dinosaur games, the Dinosaur League, NDL, National Dinosaur League. You could be a dinosaur repairman, kind of like a mechanic, but for dinosaurs. Somebody totals their brontosaurus, and then you step up. I'm telling you, Kyle, if you looked at the jobs report after any of these ideas were integrated, big numbers, startling numbers. But what I'm talking about here, Kyle, is a best case scenario, right? Because chances are you'd get some shadowy dirt bags that would try to do the wrong thing with dinos. And we hate that, but it is a possibility, right? And that's kind of what Illuminati Mike was talking about, is genocidal combat dinos. No thanks, right? If we quickly reflect on my dinosaur ideas, most of them peaceful, defensive, productive, innovative, ethical, charming, captivating, inspirational. But those are not any words that I would use to describe the people who are kind of running the world right now. So we would be right in assuming that dinosaurs, if put to the use of people who are psychopathic, evil, murderous, lying, cheating, stealing, corrupt, inappropriate, then what could have been a dinotopia turns into a dinopocalypse. Illuminati Mike, when he first told me that dinosaurs were being weaponized, told me that they would probably be used to wipe out people in designated areas with designated ideas. Probably people who love freedom, meritocracy, family values, JC, healthy competition, being in good shape, drinking enough water on a daily basis, not taking a multivitamin every day, but having a bottle of multivitamins nonetheless. Maybe you take a couple to try to make up for some missed days. Those are the people that the establishment wants to harm. Dinosaur violence on freedom-loving Americans. It's a scary scenario. But maybe it wouldn't even come to that, right, Kyle? What if the dinosaurs were simply over-regulated by these career bureaucrats? Over-legislated. Can't park your dinosaur here. Let me see your dinosaur license. Do you have dinosaur insurance? Your dinosaur bayonets are too long. Pay your dinosaur taxes. Pay $6.99 a month for a heated dinosaur saddle. Otherwise, we're going to turn off the service for you from a satellite. You're flying your pteranodon in restricted airspace. Kyle, think about that. Hard day patrolling the skies as a dinosaur pilot, and all you want to do is just cruise. But then you get intercepted and grounded. They make you land. They write you a ticket. You didn't pay your dinosaur ticket, Kyle. Now they're impounding your dinosaur. No drinking and dinosauring. Gotta wear a dinosaur helmet. No giving your dinosaur steroids. You gotta vaccinate your dinosaurs. dinosaur financing programs with 23.22 APR. No dinosaurs off leash in the park. Dinosaur monopolies, Kyle. Dinosaur lawsuits. Strangling small dinosaur businesses. The establishment ruins everything. We know this, and they do it on purpose. To crush dreams, to crush innovation, to hurt people. Think about it, Kyle. The unfortunate reality of this whole dinosaur debacle that Illuminati Mike was talking about. If dinosaurs are in fact being developed by the same dirtbags who are running this country into the ground, what could have been a dinosaur dream becomes a dinosaur nightmare. Yeah, not a pretty picture, Kyle, right? One possibility is that dinosaurs are used as the final nail in the coffin to crush a society that has been intentionally imploded, systematically and purposefully destroyed. And in this scenario, that would happen very quickly. Dino blitzkrieg. Swift, violent, inappropriate. That's what Illuminati Mike is projecting. And although I think we can all agree that would be tumultuous and terrible, it would also be pretty awful to have dinosaurs integrated into the system that we've got going right now. Overtaxed, overregulated, restricted, corporate, uninspired. Think about the internet for a second, Kyle. Seemed pretty cool at first. Share ideas, connect with others, build a business, create art, create music, play games, share ideas, give people a voice, help people learn. And don't get me wrong, those things are still going on, much like there would be amazing people who would say, to hell with the system, I'm going to fly my dinosaur wherever I want, restricted airspace or not. Kyle, I'm looking at you. People who would buy and sell raptors that weren't street legal. There'd be brave individuals who would do things like that. But pivoting back to the internet, what's it mainly used for now? To get people to buy stupid crap that they don't need, to spy on them, to keep them isolated, to socially engineer them, to get them addicted to gambling, pornography, the validation of complete strangers via social media. Now, Kyle, we all understand that there are limits to comparing the internet to dinosaurs, but we're speaking to a larger point in that technology in the wrong hands, what a bummer. I cannot confirm or deny that Illuminati Mike's hypothesis is on point and that dinosaurs are being developed by the wrong people for the wrong reasons. But what I can say is this. If we want to have a pretty recent historical perspective on an astoundingly powerful technology used in a very perverse way, we can look at the internet. But if we want to look right now in the present or towards the future, we can look at AI. Just as dinosaurs would radically transform our society, AI's got that potential as well. But like dinosaurs, Kyle, AI is dangerous, unpredictable, probably a really bad call in any form. The same could be said about the internet. I don't have answers here, Kyle, but I do have questions. We all do, right? Are some technologies simply too much, too powerful? Too much potential to go sideways? Should we be negotiating the possible usages of something so dangerous? Or saying no to all of it? And this makes us think of a pretty important, pretty special individual. Who am I talking about? That's right, Gandalf. Lord of the Rings. Good dude, ethical, magical, smart. He knew the dangers of the ring. He said it. I would like to wield this puppy to do good, but through me, it would be evil as all hell. Maybe that's how we have to look at dinosaurs, the internet, AI. Dinosaurs sound amazing. The dino golden age that I was talking about, all those potential dinosaur jobs, Kyle, that's if everything goes right. But there are dirtbags in this world of ours, Kyle, and good people who can be corrupted by power. Even well-intentioned dinosaur enthusiasts could be led astray. But let's bring it all the way back to the beginning of the episode, Kyle, where I was saying that people are caught up in the news cycle, in the issues du jour. And it's not my intention to trivialize any of the goings-on of the world, Kyle, because there are some real problems happening. But I tell you what, Kyle, if not for the internet and AI algorithms, I would have had no idea COVID-19 was even a thing. And I think that goes for a lot of people. I don't think anybody would be paying attention to Ukraine. I don't think anybody would have the question, what's a woman? There are a lot of different things that we can point at, Kyle. Tech, politics, business, ethics. What a mess. And I don't know if I have good answers here. Kyle, turn off your fucking phone. Constant interruptions, Kyle. That's what tech does. You're putting it on full display with your lack of professionalism. But I don't have all the answers here. How do you approach this wacky world in which we're living? Do you go full Amish? Do you say, I'm growing a beard? Or I'm putting on a big dress? If you're a lady? Do you start studying Ted Kaczynski and see what he was about? Probably not. Probably not. You probably don't want to do that. It's important, though, Kyle, for us to have thoughtful discussions about the implications of our relationship with not just issues, but the technologies themselves, be it dinosaurs, the internet, AI, cell phones, airplanes. Nobody's talking about airplanes. And I am serious about this. Major shakeups with transportation technologies. We talked about it a little bit in the context of dinosaurs, but what about cars? What about shipping tankers? What about planes? I don't know if you could have a society-wide tech rollback. In fact, I'm pretty sure that you can't. The toothpaste is already out of the tube, Kyle. We're left to a lot of individual choices. How much screen time are you willing to have? Is that even a meaningful thing to do? Say, I'm limiting my screen time. I'm making a difference. Who knows if you're making a difference by limiting your screen time, by limiting your AI time, by limiting your dinosaur whodunits? I haven't thought this all the way through, Kyle, but it's an interesting conversation to have. Sometimes we get too focused on the message and not the medium itself. The reality is no matter how well-intentioned any piece of technology might be, it can probably be used to fuck people over and benefit very few at the expense of many. Just something to highlight. Maybe we all just take a trip to Pennsylvania, Amish country, Kyle, and see what they're up to. Try to gain a little insight. I bet you those people are happier. And if you said, hey, Bartholomew, what's your stance on the happenings in Eastern Europe, maybe the Middle East? You know what Bartholomew probably says to you? What the fuck is the Middle East? Can you imagine? Sounds incredible. But probably not realistic for most of us to just become Amish, if we're being honest with ourselves. Maybe you just try to control what you can control, Kyle. Have a couple days a week, no screens. See what that does for you. It's probably going to make you feel good, probably make me feel good if I did that. Give me more energy to focus on the problems that matter, both in my own life and on the national stage. Might make me a little bit more clear-headed. I like to have some kind of conclusion to these episodes, Kyle, where I make a very strong point, shed some light on some things, wrap it up with a tight little bow. But I don't know if I can do that here. I really don't. But maybe you can. You, the DarbyCast doctor, the listener. Maybe you figure this out. If you can, I'd like to hear about it. Because I have not yet been able to figure out what it looks like, both on an individual and society-wide level, to have a healthy relationship with technology. I have not been able to figure that out. Is it an all or nothing deal? Are there boundaries and limits? How many people are needed to reach a critical mass in saying, the internet's too gnarly, we must destroy it, AI's too intense, we must cast it back into the fire from whence it came? Lord of the Rings, great books, great movies, really well done. If dinosaurs are being developed in secret right now, those places need to be glassed, incinerated. We've got enough crazy tech going on right now that's fundamentally ripping apart our entire society, the social fabric, and so on. We don't need dinosaurs added to that. If you hear about a dinosaur operation, call it out. If this is actually going on and Illuminati Mike is right, we probably need to get people talking about it and say we got to stop the dinosaur labs. These godforsaken scientists, right? Playing God. That stupid son of a bitch Fauci and his gain of function research. Those labs should be destroyed. And destroyed, truly, by the people working there. I don't want to make my career destroying biolabs. So maybe some insiders at some of these labs should consider sabotage. I'm not going to say this 100%. I'm just saying let's play with the idea. Maybe you work at a humongous data center for an internet company. Maybe you start systematically spilling your coffee on the mainframes. See what happens. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe. If you're listening to this and you work at a dinosaur lab, maybe you take the dinosaur eggs and turn them into a tasty omelet. See what that's about. Maybe you work at an AI company. Maybe you replace all the data with Rick Astley. Never gonna give you up. Who knows? Maybe you end up saving the planet. I'm not saying do it, but I'm saying let's think outside the box. Kyle, you work at the airport. Maybe you pee in the gas tank of a plane. I don't know if that would do anything meaningful. And I'm not saying do this either. I'm definitely not. I'm not encouraging this. But maybe you pee in the gas tank. I don't know what happens in a scenario like that. I don't know if any of these ideas are okay, legal, effective, but I'm showing you what it might look like to think outside the box. A lot of untapped potential in the human imagination. Now, in the beginning of this episode, I mentioned megalodons as well. Pretty cool. Just want to throw that out there. Big, big sharks. This is the end of the episode. If you're new here, welcome aboard. Enjoy your day. DarbyCast, Wildcard Friday.